What's going on, everyone? Sorry for the delay in videos, but for this video we're doing the Bengals record for 2025 and we'll hop right into it. With week 1, they'll be playing on the road against Cleveland Browns, and I actually think the Bengals are going to lose, and it's not because they're a worse team than Cleveland or that I think the Bengals are going to suck or anything. It's just they suck in week 1 every single year under Zach Taylor. And I don't see that changing because they have pretty much the same roster they had last year. And I don't think Zach Taylor's that great of a head coach. So I'm going to say that the Bengals it's not going to shock me, but I think they'll lose this game and go to 0-1. All right, and heading to week 2, the Bengals will be at home taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I will say, the Jags, I think they will be an improved team from last year, but I think it's going to take them some time to get things going. So I think the Bengals are going to win this game. They're at home. They just lost a shocker in week 1 to the Browns. So I see them winning this game and improving their record to 1-1. All right, and heading to week 3, the Bengals will be on the road taking on the Minnesota Vikings, and I think this is going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be very high scoring because the Bengals offense is really good, their defense is really bad, and I think the Vikings offense, they're going to have a young quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, but I don't think it's going to be that much of a struggle just because of how good Kevin O'Connell is with quarterbacks and just how loaded that offense already is. So I actually do think the Bengals are going to lose this game just because of how bad their defense is, and I'm going to have them go to 1-2. All right, and heading to week 4, the Bengals will be on the road taking on the Denver Broncos on Monday Night Football, and I think this is going to be a phenomenal game. Considering how good the game between these two teams was last year in week 17, I think this is going to be a really good game. I do think the Broncos are going to win. I think they're going to get revenge on the Bengals because the Bengals won the last time these two teams played. It was in Cincy, and I think the Broncos are going to get revenge just because I think our defense, although the Bengals offense is very good, I think that the Broncos defense has the ability to neutralize them. Not stop them just because of how good they are, but I think they'll neutralize them enough to get enough points to beat them. So I'm going to say the Bengals lose this game and go down to 1-3. All right, heading to week 5, the Bengals will be at home taking on the Detroit Lions. And this is going to be another game I think is going to be unbelievable. The Bengals are just going to be one of those teams where they're going to be must-watch football every week, assuming they're playing a half-decent team. And I think that the Bengals, I actually think they're going to win this game just because the Lions are a great team. But I do think that without Ben Johnson to help guide their offense, I don't think the Lions are going to suck, but I think they will have a little bit of trouble generating points as much as they usually do. So I think because of that, I'm going to give the Bengals a win here and have the Bengals improve to 2-3. All right, and heading to week 6, the Bengals will be heading to Green Bay to take on the Packers. And this one, I think this is going to be a tough game for the Bengals just because the Packers defense, it's not amazing, but it is pretty damn good. It's not bad. And I think it's going to be one of the better defenses that they end up playing this year. And I also think that Lambeau Field is just such a hard place to play, unless you're the Packers, of course. And because of that, I think the Packers are going to get an ugly victory and cost the Bengals a loss here and have them go down to 2-4. All right, heading to week 7, the Bengals will be at home taking on their arch rival Pittsburgh Steelers for the first time this season. And oh boy, I'm going to love this. AFC North football is really good football in my opinion, and I don't think this game will be any different. The Steelers, they have a possible good offense with Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf and Jalen Warren. They have Pat Freiermuth, he's a pretty good tight end. And I am going to give the edge to the Bengals just because they're at home, and I think I obviously trust their offense more than the Steelers' offense. And the Steelers do have a good defense, but I just think the Bengals being at home are going to gain some momentum in this game and improve their record to 3-4. All right, and heading to week 8, the Bengals will be at home taking on the New York Jets. And this one, Bengals fans are going to hate me for this, but I have the Bengals losing this game. I think this is going to be a trap game. The Jets defense, I mean, it's the Jets, but they still have guys like Sauce Gardner, Quinnen Williams on that team. And they have Will McDonald, who's starting to get better. I think the Bengals are going to lose. I think that their offense is going to have an off day. I think it's just going to be the definition of a trap game. So I have the Bengals losing this and dropping down to 3-5. All right, and heading to week 9, the Bengals will be at home taking on the Chicago Bears. And the Bears, they got Ben Johnson in the offseason, and I think their offense can be good, but it's not a guarantee. But the Bengals offense will be good. We know that. And I think because of just the fact that the Bengals offense is more, it's more of a sure thing. And it's kind of what I said about the Steelers, except the Bears don't even have a good defense. So the Bengals should easily win this game. And I think considering they just lost to the Jets last week, I think they will and improve their record to 4-5. And week 10, they're sitting at 4-5 for their bye week. And what it comes down to is I have so many concerns with their defense. And the fact that Trey Hendrickson still hasn't been signed up to this point, yikes. All right, but enough about that. Heading to week 11, the Bengals off of their bye week will be playing the Pittsburgh Steelers for the second time this season. And I think this is a game, I think the Bengals are going to win just because they're coming off a bye week. And like I said in the first game against the Steelers, I mean, I don't trust their offense as much as I trust the Bengals offense. And I mean, it is a home game for the Steelers, so I could see the Steelers winning this game, but I think just because the Bengals are going to be more desperate at this point, and the fact that I do trust their offense more, I'm going to give the Bengals the edge here and have them go to 5-5. All right, and heading to week 12, the Bengals will be at home taking on the New England Patriots. And the Patriots last year shockingly beat the Bengals in week 1. And will they beat the Bengals 2 years in a row? I personally think not, because the Bengals, I think they're going to have this game circled on their calendar just because of how they lost the game last time. So I think the Bengals are going to make sure that they're firing on all cylinders for this game, and I have them improving to 6-5. All right, and heading to week 13, the Bengals will be on the road taking on the Baltimore Ravens. And we got more AFC North football, and I think this is going to be a tough game for the Bengals. I mean, I could obviously see them winning it because it's the division, let alone the AFC North, where any damn thing can happen. But just because it's the Ravens, they're at home, they have a better defense. In my opinion, they have a better quarterback, but I mean, that's really debatable. But I think just because of those factors, I'm going to have to go with the Ravens here and, have the Bengals lose and go down to 6-6. All right, heading to week 14, the Bengals coming off their mini bye week will be playing against the Buffalo Bills on the road. And this one, it's kind of what I said about the Ravens. I mean, it's obviously not the AFC North, but at the same time, I mean, the Bills, they have a better defense. They have a more proven quarterback, I would say, than Joe Burrow. No offense, not to diss Joe Burrow. These are both great quarterbacks, and I do think this is going to be a phenomenal game. And I could see the Bengals winning this. I could see them winning any game, to be honest, but it's like, I don't trust a team that has this bad of a defense and this bad of a head coach. So I'm going to say that they lose this game and drop down to 6-7. And heading to week 15, the Bengals will be playing at home against the Baltimore Ravens. We've got more AFC North football. And this one, I had the Ravens beating the Bengals the first time they played, but this time I think the Bengals are going to win just because they're at home. And considering how damn close the Bengals have been to beating the Ravens the past 2 times that they played, I think they're due for one, and I think they're going to win this game and improve their record to 7-7. All right, and heading to week 16, the Bengals will be on the road taking on the Miami Dolphins, I believe on Sunday Night Football. And this one, I think it'll be a good game just because it's going to be in Miami, so it's going to be hot. So I don't think that is going to play a factor in slowing down the offenses, because usually it does. But I still think the Bengals are going to win. I trust Joe Burrow more than I trust Tua. And I don't think either of these head coaches are that good, because Zach Taylor and Mike McDaniel, I think they're both kind of overrated. And I still am going to say the Bengals. That's the bottom line. Just Joe Burrow in December, I think is way better than Tua in December. So I'm going to say the Bengals win and go to 8-7. All right, and heading to week 17, the Bengals will be at home taking on the Arizona Cardinals. And just like I said with the Dolphins, I just think I trust the Bengals offense more. And granted, their defense still isn't good, but I do think because it's later in the season, I think it's going to play a factor in slowing down the Cardinals offense for the Bengals defense. Not to mention the Cardinals aren't really that good of a team anyway. So I think the Bengals should easily win this game and improve their record to 9-7. And ending off the season, the Cincinnati Bengals will be at home taking on the Cleveland Browns for the final week of AFC North football for the Bengals and for this video. And I definitely think the Bengals are going to win this game. I really don't think the Browns are going to sweep the Bengals, because the Browns beat the Bengals in week 1 because of the whole not playing good in week 1. But I think week 18 is a different story. The Bengals are going to be really fighting for a playoff spot, and the Browns are, let's just say, they're not going to be doing that. So I'm going to say the Bengals win this game and close off their regular season with a 10-7 record. And there you have it. The Bengals, I have them with a final record of 10-7. And here's the thing about the Bengals. They can beat anybody, but the thing is, they can also lose to anybody. I think they remind me a lot of the Denver Nuggets in the NBA, because they also have a terrible defense, but their offense is so good, it just doesn't really matter. And I think if the Bengals can make the playoffs, they're going to be a dangerous team. But I think it's going to be the same story as last year. I mean, 10-7 might not be enough to get there. And I know that sounds crazy, but I mean, so far, if they were to make it, they would be at best the 6th seed, because I personally don't think they're going to win the AFC North, and they'll be better than the Browns, but I think it's going to be either the Ravens or the Steelers that win a division, because you can't really win division crowns when you have a god-awful defense, especially in a division like the AFC North. And I just don't know how far this team is going to go with as bad of a defense as they do. But I think if they can get there, they're going to be dangerous as hell, and no one's going to want to play them. But that's a big if, just because their defense is a problem. And I think that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll have a Cleveland Browns video out in the next few hours, just because I need to get these all done as soon as I can so I can do my playoff predictions and things like that. But yeah, I'll catch y'all in that video. If you're still watching, I appreciate you for watching. And yeah, sayonara.